What the mayor said about her decision to choose me was what she was hearing from people in the district was that it was about public safety. And they wanted somebody who had a lot of experience there. My first job out of college, and we were talking a little bit about it earlier, was working for the district attorney of San Francisco, Arlo Smith. I managed his campaign in 1991. I worked on the district attorney's hate crimes task force back in 1991 when hate crimes laws were brand new. I worked as a consultant for many years in politics, and then for 14 years I worked in the city attorney's office under Dennis Herrera. I was on the executive staff, communications director, and senior advisor, which is where I learned a lot about city government. I think if there's a place where I got to see, at least in a sort of high-level view, some of the stuff that went on, including the Treasure Island, some of the planning, the legislation, it was in the city attorney's office. But then in the last 2 years, actually 2 weeks before COVID, I joined the SFPD because I wanted the opportunity to work with Chief of Police Bill Scott, who was doing some great work on 21st century police reform, and I've always been a huge admirer of his, so I had the opportunity to work with Bill Scott. He hired me. So the mayor looked at my resume and that of other people she was considering and decided that based on what she was hearing from District 6 residents, she wanted somebody on the Board of Supervisors who could speak knowledgeably about public safety issues, so she picked me. You know, we were talking a little bit about whether it was what I expected. I think I had allowed for the possibility when I was deciding to ask for a job that I never thought I would want, that there may come a day that I regret it. I'll tell you, I haven't had one of those days yet. And one of the things that's sort of interesting about this is it's my gleeful inner nerd is like really, it gets to work on things that other people might think are really boring. But they're really going to make a huge influence in shaping San Francisco when we talk about housing element, probably the most ambitious plan to build 82,000 units of housing over the next 8 years, including 8,000 units of housing here, Caltrain electrification, and high-speed rail, some of the things we're going to be doing in other parts of my district. So not only have I not regretted it, I am more and more excited every day about what I get to do, but I also know what I signed up for. And I always say to people, I'm not going to take it personally. No hard feelings if you're going to yell. I think everybody has a right to yell after what we've been through with COVID and a lot of what's going on in the city. And I understand too that when I hear from people who are expressing frustration with their city government, it's important to realize that you're empowering me when I go back to City Hall to speak on your behalf as your representative. So I won't take it personally unless you tell me explicitly to take it personally. But I will assume that we're all in this together. Sometimes we may have disagreements, but I'm going to do my best to tell you where I stand on things and where my perspective on things.